Okay, so today we are going to be dealing with translations. This is the first of 4 transformations that we will be doing. We're going to be taking things and we're going to be transforming them on the graph to move them, to slide them, to flip them, to rotate them, to do all these things. It's going to be stuff that is it's stuff that it's not going to be crazy complicated. The one thing I will say that you've got to know how to do on this is graph a point. So when we talk about this, we're going to review points when we get there. You've got to be able to graph a point because there's going to be a lot of graphing in this chapter. So if you have trouble with that, you can see me one-on-one. Okay? Okay, guys, first of all, transformations. Transformations is what we're going to be dealing with. Today we're doing translations. That's a specific transformation. It says a change in position, size, or shape, okay, of a geometric figure. There are several types of them. Here's one. If you take this and you rotated it around, it would put it here. If you took this one and made it bigger, it would end up here. Okay. If you took this one, what would you do to get from this one to this one, guys? You'd flip it. That's exactly correct. So when you look at this, the original figure is called the pre-image. It's what it starts off as. It's called the pre-image. The new figure is called the image. Okay. Now, we are going to have 2 types of motion when we move them. We are going to have what's called a rigid motion, and a rigid motion is going to be a move that maintains the size and shape. That's important. And shape, size and shape of the pre-image. So think about it. We could slide it and it would still retain the same shape and size. We can flip it. It'll still be the same shape and size.
Good morning, teachers. I apologize for this interruption, but we are trying to do makeup testing for writing. An email was sent out with students that need to come to the media center. Currently, we have no one. So please check that email to see if any of your students need to be in the media center, making up the writing test. You can send them at this time. If you're a sub and you need some assistance with that, please call the office. Thank you.
Give me 1 second. I trust y'all, but I'm also going to look. Meg's out sick. She's not here. She got hurt. I don't see any of y'all. Y'all are sure. Nobody in here thinks they need to be there. I don't see of any of y'all's names. Anybody think they need to be there? Okay. I'll just check again just to make sure we did our due diligence. Okay, so here we go. So we're going to decide whether these motions, again, slides, flips, whatever they are, if they're rigid. Are we changing the size or shape? So when we look at A, when we did this and we rotated it around, did that change the size or shape? Okay, so the question says, is this a rigid motion? Yes, it is a rigid motion because nothing changes size or shape-wise. On B, it's called a dilation. We're going to get to that, but we don't need to know the name of it yet. All I did was it's like taking your fingers and making a picture bigger on your phone. Okay, is that a rigid motion? No, because it changed size, so no. The last one, when you flip it, we already talked about that. Okay, it's called a reflection, the real word for it. So is that a rigid motion? Yes. So you're going to have to be able to identify if something is a rigid motion or not. Anybody have any questions just on that concept so far? Wonderful. Then we are going to go and do our first transformation, which is to deal with a translation. So here we go. When you're naming them, So here we go. Naming them, guys, you're going to see this starting off as your pre-image. You're going to have this as your image. When you see it, it says a transformation is shown with an arrow in between. Okay? The pre-image is here. The image is here. A prime notation, guys. This is a notation that y'all know up here. See apostrophe. Okay. This is called a prime notation in math. That little symbol will be after the letters once they do something to it. That just shows that's the one that's had the change done to it. That makes this one the image. That's how you identify it. So it says, what are the images of angle B? Well, guys, look at angle B right here. Angle B's image would be the same one with the little mark on it. So it would be angle B with the little prime symbol on it. That's all you do, is once you do the image of it, you put the little prime symbol on it. Same thing with AC, and you're talking about segment AC right here is going to be this segment AC right here, but instead of just being AC, it's going to be A prime, C prime with the little segment symbol over the top. The only difference between the pre-image and the image, guys, is those little prime marks or prime notations. And then it says, what are the pairs of corresponding sides? So let's start with an easy one, guys, because they already did one for you. AC we already did. AC, right here, is going to correspond to what?
A prime, C prime.
Yeah, A prime, C prime is how you say it. That is exactly how you say it. Let me try writing that again. A prime, not working, and C prime. There you go. And usually they write an arrow in between because you're going from the pre-image to the image. So give me another pair. BC. And if you do BC, then all you do is the same exact letters, B and C, but you little prime notations. So it'd be B prime, C prime. Perfect. Last one. Which one haven't we done?
AB.
AB. Which means it'd be A prime, B prime, and that would be the image of it. AB would be the pre-image. A prime, B prime would be the image. That is correct. Guys, to name it, all you do is put a prime notation on it, put that little mark on it. It shows that it's the new one. It's to help you to identify which one's the old one, which one's the new one. Okay. Questions, concerns, anything before we go on? Okay. Translations. This is the one we're doing. This is the only one we're doing today. We do one at a time. Today, this is the only one we're doing. Translations. Basically, it's a slide, guys. Go ahead and write that out here. That's all we're really doing is sliding something around. We're taking something, we're not lifting it up, we're not flipping it, we're not rotating it. It is staying its exact position. We're just sliding it up, sliding it down, sliding it left, sliding it right, sliding it diagonal. All we're doing is sliding it. And when you slide it, okay, that means that that is going to be a, translations are a, what's it called? Rigid motion. So translations are a, translations are a slide. I put it up there, but it can go there too. Which this is a rigid motion. Sorry, I jumped ahead and put slide up at the top. I knew I wanted y'all to know that. I didn't know I had put it in the slide. Put it in the text. Okay, guys. All you're doing is sliding it. This is the way you write it. Guys, don't make this harder than it is. There's a capital T that means translation. You start off with XY because that's how all points start. And to each point, you're going to add or subtract a number if you change it. So to the X, you're going to move it 2. Since this is X, plus 2 is going to do what to that thing? Ooh, let's do this. Let's talk about this. X moves what? What way does X move? Left to right. That is exactly right. Left to right, side to side. Left or right. Guys, if X is negative, you go to the left. If X is positive, you go to the right. Okay? So when you're adding 2, you are going to move 2 spaces right. That is exactly correct. 2 spaces to the right. Okay? Now, let's think about the Y. For the Y tells you to move what? Move up or down. You go up when it's positive, you go down when it's negative. Take a minute, write that down so you have it. I want to make sure that you have that information so that if you need to look back and you forget, you can go back and look at it. Okay, since this says y minus 1, that minus 1 is going to tell you to move one place what? Down. One place down. One place down. So you're going to be moving each one of your points 2 spaces to the right and 1 down. 2 to the right, 1 down. Every point goes the same amount, guys. 2 to the right, 1 down. What, sweetie? Have you done it before? It's actually kind of fun. It's like I said, this is one of the best tests usually of the second half of the second semester. It's usually really good. People like this. It's different. I do want to point out that when you see this, you got the ABC here. That's the pre-image. You got the little prime marks. That means that's the image. They also, I'm putting this out there because the EOC likes to put things in different formats. They could also write this like this, guys. I just want to show it to you. You won't see it on mine, but I just want to show it to you. T, and then you'll have these little like arrow kind of things. They look like parentheses, but they have points. And inside of it, it would have the 2 and the -1. And then it would have the ABC equals A prime, B prime, and C prime. Okay? Now, I'm just putting it on there so that you understand that these two things are the same. They're just different formats. Is it going to show up like that on our test? No. But could they write it that way on the EOC? They could, because it's both correct as far as the way you could write it. So I want to make sure that you have it so that if you see it like this and you're like, well, I never saw one that looked like that. This means the exact same thing as this does. Okay? They mean the same thing. I just need you to know that. Anything before we actually do some problems. This is what your homework's going to be like. Okay, there's 2 types of problems, 2 main types of problems. The first type of problem is going to be taking a picture that is the pre-image and moving it to the image based on a rule. Okay, based on that rule, we're going to move it. So, here we go. So, looking right here, this says x plus 5. I am going to move 5 to the what? Right. 5 to the right. Okay? And this says plus 2, so I'm going to move 2 what?
To the up.
To the up sounds weird. 2 up. We'll just say 2 up. It just sounded fun. 2 up. To the left or to the right, up or down. There we go. We're going to move 5 to the right and 2 up. 5 to the right and 2 up. So guys, here we go. All we're doing is going through and moving this, and we're going to have to count blocks and just move it over. I'm going to start with E because it's my first letter. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right, and I'm going to go 1, 2 up. It's just counting blocks. You have to be careful, guys. Don't mess up your counting. What's what?
Done.
Okay. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right and 2 up. That point is now going to be E, but it's going to have that little prime notation on it. Okay? I need to know what ordered pair that is. So from the origin, do I move left or right at all? No. So that means my first number in my ordered pair is going to be 0. And then how far up do I go to get to that point? 3. 0, 3 is that first point. Okay, here we go on the next one. You're going to take the H. Oh, wait, sorry. F is alphabetically next. We'll do that one next. So F is going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, careful. 5 right here. And then I've got to go up 1, 2. Ooh, that's a very convenient spot, guys. What point is that?
The origin.
The origin, which is 0, 0. So our F prime is 0, 0. That's an easy point to pull out. Okay, G is next. We're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and go up 1, 2. Here's my G prime. Over 5 up 2, guys. Over 5 up 2. Okay, what point is that? I go over to the right 3.
3,
So my first number is 3, but I don't go up or down, which means my second number is going to be 0. Good. And then our last one is going to be to take H and go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and go up 1, 2. There's my H prime. What is it?
3,
3, 3. Perfect. 3, 3. There you go. The only thing I have left to do is connect my points, guys. Just sketch. It's not going to be perfect. I get it. It needs to be reasonable, but I mean, if your line doesn't go exactly straight, you don't have a ruler, it's fine. I get it. Okay. Concerns, questions, anything before I move on? Okay. Same thing on the next one. Tell me what I'm going to move. If it says x minus 3, I've got to move to the what? 3 to the what?
Left.
3 to the left. 3 to the left. And then since it says minus 7, I've got to move 7 up or down.
Yeah.
7 down is correct. Okay. Since I move 3 to the left and 7 down, I'm going to take each one of these points and I'm going to go 3 to the left. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to go 7 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's my first point right there. That's E prime. It's hard to see?
Yeah.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Do y'all have, oh wait, is that the one that's printed in the other printer? See how good these are printed? Look.
We can't see
Yeah,
that.
we can't see.
Yeah, see, these are your next set of notes. So yes, I know that printer we got a new printer yesterday. So the new printer prints really nicely. So all the rest of them will be good. Just so you know. This one's just not the best. Okay. Just know that your stuff, your worksheet's on a better one. It'll be better, I promise. It'll be better. Okay, here we go, guys. For the next one, G, I've got to go 3 to the left. Oh wait, what point was that? I'm sorry. -3, -3. Gotta name that first, just so we don't get mixed up. Yes.
So where do I start?
At the origin every time. So when you go to get to tell me the point, you start here at the origin and you go 1, 2, 3 down 1, 2, 3.
I had started really easy.
Yep. Instead of that. Yep. Yep. When you're naming a point, you always start at the origin. Thank you for asking that question. Someone else needed that answer. Okay, here we go. To graph to graph F, we're going to start here at F, and we are going to go 1, 2, 3 to the left, and down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's going to be F prime, and then we got to figure out what point that is. Where is that located? If you start at the origin, how many do you have to go to the right? I think it's 2, isn't it? 2. 2 to the right. And how many down?
7.
Okay, here's 4.
Wait.
5, 6. It'd be -6, because you got to go down 6.
Oh, yeah.
Again, grids will be better on the next one. That's why I started printing on the other one for the rest of the stuff. Especially, well, I didn't have it before then.
Oh,
Okay. Did you really?
Yeah, I put it in.
See, that's good. I'm glad you saw it. You always go left or right first, then up or down. Okay, last one, guys. G. G has got to go 3 to the left. 1, 2, 3. And go down 7. What was that word? 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that's going to be G prime, which, guys, it's pretty easy to see the first number because you're going to go over to where the -4 is. See it? See the little -4? It's tiny, but it's there.
So it's
And then you're going to go down 6. Yeah, so it'd be -6. And if your shape does not look like the one above it, then you've done something incorrect, because it's a rigid motion. The shapes should be identical to each other. Right? It's a rigid motion, which means the shapes have to be exactly the same. Okay, guys, that's half of your problems. That's it. That's half of what you're going to have to do tonight. Anybody have any questions? Okay? Then all we have to do is, the other one is actually less work. Let's show you this other one. Oh, wait, anybody still writing? No? Okay, here we go. Last ones, guys. This is you writing your own translation. It's called writing the rule to describe it. So when you look at this, all you're doing is deciding what is going to be added or subtracted to X and what is going to be added or subtracted to Y. So when we look at the first one, this is the pre-image, and we go to the image, we want to know how much we move left or right, how much we move up or down. So to do that, we're going to start here at A, and I need to see how much am I moving as I go to the right to line up with that A. So we have to count blocks. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We are moving 7 to the right. Guys, if we're going 7 to the right, what do I write after the X? Plus 7. To the right means it's going to be plus 7. And then I've got to go up 1, 2. To represent going up to, what would I write after my Y?
+2.
Plus 2. You just wrote the rule. That's it. So all you got to do is tell me, how much are we moving? Okay? How much to the left or right? How much up or down? Now, they gave you a lot of it on the first one. Now we've got to set it up on our own. But guys, the format is the same every time. You put a capital T. You put parentheses with X, Y in there. You draw an arrow. Every time it does the same thing. You set up a new parentheses. The first one is going to be X plus or minus second, plus or minus something. The second one is going to be Y plus or minus something. Then you're going to have your, guys, what letters are there for this one? It's not A, B, C, it's what?
ABC.
You got to put the D, A, B, C, D. And then for the second part of it, that A, B, C, D is going to be A prime, B prime, C prime, and D prime. You'll see them on your paper because you're going to have the ones that go forward, so you can write them going backwards. You just copy it. The only thing that's going to be different is this part right here in the middle. Okay? I need to know what I'm adding or subtracting to go from one to the other. So I'm starting right here on this A because this is my pre-image. It doesn't have the little mark on it. I've got to go all the way over to here to line up with this A. How many to the left is that?
-5.
Minus 5. If you go to the left, it's minus. If you go to the right, it's plus. So we went 5 to the left, which makes it -5. And then I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4. And if I go up 4, what do I write?
Positive.
Plus 4, positive 4. Doesn't matter how you say it. Plus 4, positive 4. All of that was correct. Nicely done, guys. That's it. Anybody have any questions about writing the rule? Okay. So let's go ahead and put that in your well,